overrated. I'm like, nobody plays this game as well as I do, and still manages to keep up with all of the players who play countless hours. But that's just a joke. I was just trying to get my name out. You guys think it's the most overrated player, not including me. Continue. Please tell.
Oh, I guess. No, come back to me. I'll think about it. I'm not really sure.
Drew.
I've seen Krim in action. I'm gonna have to say he's the worst. You're right.
What?
What?
Hold on, scratch that. Edit.
There's no edit. You just gotta roll with it.
I hit hard. I don't know.
It's a joke, you guys. Seriously, though.
I don't know. That's a horrible question from a horrible person.
I didn't ask that question.
What was the question again?
Who's the most overrated player?
Overrated.
To be honest, I mean, nobody's going to get their feelings hurt. It is what it is. People get overrated. That doesn't mean they're bad. It just means that people think that they're too good. For example, Kyle. You know, everybody thinks he's the greatest player in the world, and I see him misplay against me time and time again.
And I still beat you.
I mean, that just means I misplay more. And I get unlucky.
If you asked this question like 6 months ago, it was clearly this guy. But I don't know. Right now, I don't know. That's rough.
Everybody's trying to be cool. Who's your ex?
No, I actually can't think of
I'm
anyone
honestly
who's
trying
like.
to think about it.
Yeah, I actually can't. We'll come back. Do another question, and we'll come back to this one.
Oh, Krim, you go.
The most overrated player?
Yeah.
I don't know enough players to. I don't think it's Yamato. I think Yamato's underrated because you guys are all.
Well, he's like underrated in our eyes, but like he's overrated in the lower tier eyes.
Okay, yeah. I mean, to the general public, I guess Yamato might be overrated, but say the Levante crowd, I think he's underrated.
Yeah.
Just because everybody went from he's the best player in the world to everybody saying that he's overrated. Now he's being underrated because he's obviously good. But overrated Matthew Moss, absolutely. That guy's in a WhatsApp.
That was the first guy that came to my mind. I'll be honest.
He's a legend. He flipped 3
out there.
Zubat. He took that Zubat down.
Super McTrainer Showdown 10 years ago, buddy.
The legend was on though.
I think it's pretty unanimous. Matt Moss is the most overrated player in the history of the game. So.
Well, but we're talking about now, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's still the most overrated.
Still.
How good do you think he is, Grandma?
He's like, he can't be that good. He hasn't played seriously in years.
And you're still overrating him.
I just said he's not that good.
And you're still overrating him. So, absolutely, he's the most overrated player in the history of the game.
I think when Moss actually sits down and practices and plays,
yeah, I agree.
He's legitimately one of the best players.
I agree with that, but when he doesn't, it's just like, well, what do you expect, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so who's the most underrated player? Unless anybody else has something to do.
I still got other stuff to say.
Alright.
I'm going to go with Matt Elvis. Definitely overrated.
Yes.
People kind of lump him into that crowd with Jason and Chuck. Sorry, buddy, you're not there.
Hot shot.
Fish. Yep. Over to you, Chai, please. But other than that, I think somebody that's overrated. Sorry to say it, but Gino. I think he gets a lot more hype than deserved. Gino had that 1 year where he won nationals, looking at you, Drew, and top 4 worlds in the same year. And I don't think that's really indicative of his skill level. I think he had 1 good year. He's not a bad player by any means, but I don't think he's as great as people make him out to be.
I got my answer for overrated. Tom Hall.
Okay, go for it.
Tom Hall. Dude, because of he writes for 6 prizes, he's like way overrated right now. But he is definitely
taking off his
overrated.
drugs.
And you know what? We'll say he's overrated. This hat. He knows what that means.
Okay, and underrated, and then we'll do one more question after that. So if anybody wants to have good questions, please ask. Take one more.
Underrated.
I'm going to go with Mondak. No one gives Mondak credit, but he's real good. I have to play him all the time, and he's a pro. Like you're saying, just as good as me. He just needs a couple breaks to go his way. And he's going to go deep.
I've never played against Mondak. I should have.
The National Championship 2011. Mondak.
I think a lot.
Yeah.
I can think of a lot of underrated players. This one's a lot easier. I'm just going to go with Luke. I don't think anyone kind of considers him good until they play him.
So everybody picked their best friend so far. What about you, Kyle?
I don't know. I got a lot of people on the list.
Just kidding.
Underrated people, I'd say Mondak for sure.
Yeah.
I think somebody like Bianchi hasn't really gotten a lot of credit. He's very, very good at the game.
Overrated. If it wasn't for coin flips, man. If it wasn't for coin flips.
I guess Krim's pretty underrated because he hasn't really done anything. Nobody really knows who he is, but he is good at the game. Yeah, I don't know. That might be it.
Okay. I think who have I played that I actually think is good and it's really good. I actually don't think it was.
I also want to throw out Joner. I think he's one of the best.
I'll think Joner. Actually, that's the best one that I can come up with.
Is he like? I don't consider him underrated though.
Nobody.
Yeah, but he's not like a big name.
I think he's a big enough name, at least in the upper circle.
Yeah. I don't know.
And let's see. Virgil's actually really good. I think Virgil is not given enough credit. And I think that just people that don't have the exposure, people that haven't won, major tournaments or haven't played high major tournaments, but are actually extremely good.
Mm-hmm.
There's talented people like that, but obviously Joner, in my opinion, just because he doesn't live in our country, he's not given enough credit. But what was the question? I decided on. Okay, let's do this one. What do you think is the likelihood of a relatively unheard of deck winning Nationals, as opposed to something that has been established as good, such as like Magnus on Embor or such like that?
I'll take that one. Yeah. Since the card pool is just so small, I would say very unlikely. I mean, there's only so many combinations of cards you can come up with. There's what, 5 sets, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say pretty unlikely. Everything will be figured out by the time we get to Nationals. There's always a little chance, but I don't think it's very high.
I'm going to go down the opposite end. I'm going to say it's fair to likely. Again, it's because no one really knows the format for sure. There's nothing to reference it to. It's all in-house testing for your results. So when someone comes up with something really solid and it goes against all in-house testing, then most people aren't going to know what to do against it, and they're just going to drop 2 games right away. Even if you look back on it later and go, wow, that deck was really terrible. But because no one really has it tested against it, I think it's fair to likely.
I think that the good players will figure out a lot of stuff, but maybe for an average player, they won't see it coming at all, and it'll hit them by surprise. So that's a mix of both of theirs, pretty much.
Okay. I actually think that as of right now, if we just took every deck that's been known of right now and we decided to take that question, then I think there's a pretty good chance that it would be unknown. But until that day comes, well, actually, until Nationals comes, by the time Nationals comes, there's going to be Poke Gym, there's going to be Six Prizes, there's going to be A-Trainer, LeBonde, all of our sites, and eventually somebody's going to just come up with that deck. So from here until Nationals, I think that somebody's going to come up with a deck that's actually going to be tournament winning, and they're going to post it on these sites, and it'll become known at that point. But as of right now, I don't think we've discovered the best deck. Absolutely not. I think that we still have some tuning to do, and we'll find the best one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, actually, there is one last question. Matt Alvis's G-Pack, starting with Pramela.
What was it?
Matt Alvis's G-Pack.
Oh. Let's go with a 3.5.
3.5. Pretty good. Seriously?
I mean, I'll
-4. -4.
I mean, let's be realistic here.
This is out of 10, by the way. This is out of 10. For people who don't know, this is out of 10.
Yeah, this is from 1 to 10. And this is actually a personality assessment test. So, it is what it is. -4, you're taking a -4.
-4. I had a lag, but -4.
I think I would have given it higher, but...
Is it, are we talking about Matt Elvis or Chad Lee? These are 2 alter egos here.
Just roll them into one.
I believe Elvis said his G-Pack, so Elvis.
And Matt Elvis, alright, I spent the week with him in Georgia. He, got me sick the whole week. But, he's an alright guy. I'll go with 8.
Out of 10?
Whoa.
I thought I was I was sitting here going like, damn, I'm
This
going to
is,
real
dude,
guy.
this is the same guy.
As a Pokemon player, I'll rate him lower. But,
He's the same guy who littered the Fronte with Iptex.
That's true.
You couldn't, sign on safely. It was like...
So do you want to edit your... you want to edit
I would have rated him higher, but if it wasn't for that, they just shot it down, because I couldn't log on in a public place because of that.
Final answer, taking 8?
Yep, that's good.
Alright. I thought it was being nice, but apparently I'm not that nice. I say 6. 6.5, 9 if he doesn't post a dick pic. I think the dude's cool. Dick pics, not so cool. So be it. Pramela, continue.
Alright, we can do one more question, or we can do shout-outs. What do you guys want to do?
Shout-outs.
Alright, we'll do shout-outs. Drew, since you seem so excited, go ahead.
I'm going to give a shout-out to Dustin Zimmerman. Came all the way to